We're here at the Farnborough Airshow in the Innovation Zone, and we're in front of the Clean Sky stand. The Innovation Zone started 2 Farnboroughs ago, and it's grown every time. It's really a great exhibit for innovation in Europe and innovation in the UK. And many universities are around us and many other programs. So it's a great place for Clean Sky to do an important part of its role, which is disseminating the knowledge, the information we've gained, but also, we hope, enthusing a new generation of kids to want to be engineers and want to be involved in aerospace technology. Innovation in aviation is vital for Europe, vital because of societal challenges, particularly the impact of aviation on the environment. So innovation helps us drive down noise from aircraft, reduce fuel burn and hence CO2 and global warming, and reduce oxides of nitrogen. And the first part of Clean Sky program tackled all of these. Clean Sky 2, the new program, not only embraces all of that, but also has a major dimension on European competitiveness. So how do we keep Europe at the forefront of aviation technology? And it really is a technology race. This industry, more than any other one, competes on technology, on technical ability. So unless European companies are in the forefront, then we won't maintain our world position. If you look at the man-made CO2 out there, only 3% of it comes from aviation. So you could say, why bother? Or you could say, let's stop everybody flying and that solves the problem. I think air travel is vitally important. It fulfills a major social feature. People were predicting 10 years ago, with the internet, nobody will need to travel anywhere. You'll just visit places virtually. Actually, it's had the opposite effect. The internet shows people places they want to go. It makes it easier to book air travel. And now more and more people want to travel, want to meet other people. And that's really great. That's a great social function. It's also vital for world trade. So if we did nothing about CO2 in aviation, then by the time we get to 2050, it'd probably be 30% of the world's CO2, because it's growing at 5% a year. So we definitely have to push it down, reduce the fuel burn, and the current generation of technologies are doing that. We're already 50% better than the early jet aircraft in terms of fuel burn, but we've got to get another 50% better by 2050. Well, if you look at the basic physics of the engines and things, we've got about 30% to go at in terms of fuel burn saving just from technology to push that to the limits. Modern aircraft can be much better designed to be more integrated with the engines and power plants. And then looking beyond that out 2035 and beyond, we see a whole new wave of electrical technology coming in. I don't think in even by 2050 we'll see an all-electric aircraft at big passenger size. But the sort of hybrid aircraft, the flying Toyota Prius, if I can call it that, is definitely coming. We've already done some studies with Airbus on this, and there's a display on the stand here of what the engine of the future for that electric aircraft could look like. So it's very exciting, and that gets us all the way out to 2050 and really helps us. The goal is to have half the emissions from aircraft in 2050 that we had in the year 2000. So despite that growth, despite that 5% year-on-year growth, we want to actually reduce the amount of CO2 from aircraft by the time we get out to 2050. Yeah, I think there's a lot to come from air traffic management. It doesn't even need technology, it just needs better organization. And we could get 10% fuel saving if you could fly from A to B in a straight line without circling around B for 20 minutes. That would really be a major investment. But then on top of that, Europe has the CESAR program to modernize air traffic management and get a more efficient system as a whole. So combination of the two, it would help if the French didn't go on strike every summer as well. That would certainly save a lot of fuel and a lot of waiting around in airports. So I've been with the Clean Sky program right since its inception, since we first thought of it back in 2005. We had a program called Clean Sky at the time. That's just coming to an end. It finishes end of this year. And all the major demonstrators that are part of that are on display here and are all coming to their final phases. Some are finished already. Some will be demonstrated this year. And then 18 months ago, we launched Clean Sky 2, the follow-on program. It's more than twice the size of Clean Sky 1, so a total of 4 billion euros of funding plus the industry's own money going into Clean Sky 2. Many more participants, so we had over 600 participants in Clean Sky. We expect even more than that in Clean Sky 2, maybe 800 or more. And many small to medium-sized companies got to participate for the first time in a European program. They came into Clean Sky And we're seeing that trend again in Clean Sky 2, the small company participation ramping up. We're seeing more member states joining Clean Sky 2 than ever before. And we've got an interesting link to the structural funds in Europe. So part of the Parliament's decision was that structural funds should also be linked to innovation and research, and increasingly Clean Sky is bringing on board regions with large structural funds to couple their targets, their technology targets for those structural funds with the Clean Sky goals, and that's really being a great success for the new programme. As chairman of Clean Sky, obviously I recognise that Brexit is a big talking point at the moment. The UK is a major participant in Clean Sky. 69 separate participants in the UK, universities, companies, research institutes, all participating in Clean Sky 1 and a similar pattern in Clean Sky 2. In fact, the number of participations as opposed to number of participants is highest from the UK of any of the European member states. So obviously Brexit is a concern. All I can say at the moment is it hasn't happened yet. We don't know the exact date when UK will pull out of Europe. So until then, the UK will continue to play a full and active part in the Clean Sky programme, and UK companies are still welcome to bid for new calls and new programmes, and they shouldn't feel put off from doing that. Once we know the timetable for Brexit, and once the new Prime Minister who takes office today, once she decides what the timescale is, then we can plan around that. But right until that point, we will be full participants. Whether the UK has some role after Brexit depends. I mean, other non-EU countries like China, like Israel, can participate in the framework programs. They bring their own money, they don't use European money, but it may be that the UK gets itself to that position as well. So the UK, my own company Rolls-Royce, is a major European company. We're UK based, so Brexit is an issue, and we're thinking our way through the implications of that at the moment. For UK aviation industry, we have the highest percentage of our GDP from aviation based industry of any of the European states. So we're in a very strong position whether we're inside Europe or outside Europe. I think it's unfortunate what's happened, but we have to live with the public decision. We have to work through that. Speaking for my previous company, Rolls-Royce, then we're very much a European company. We employ nearly as many people in Germany, Spain, Finland, Sweden as we do in the UK. So we will certainly continue to be part of Europe as a company and a major player through those parts of the Rolls-Royce business in European programs, whatever happens here in the UK. So my own company, Rolls-Royce, or my previous company, I recently retired, is a major European company. It has nearly as many employees in Germany, Spain, Sweden, Finland as it has in the UK. So going forward after Brexit, it will certainly continue to play a full part within Europe, within the European research programs from those countries where we have major participations, and will continue to be a major player in the UK aerospace industry as well. We need to think that through. It's all new, and certainly it's an important market for us, but equally we're an important market for Europe. A lot of our components come from European manufacturers, so I don't think the Europeans themselves want to put too many barriers in the way of trade between the UK and the rest of Europe going forward. We'll wait and see how that works out, but it's important that we keep some sensibility on the trade front, certainly. Yeah, I'm not sure. We already look beyond Europe, and the big growth in civil aviation is not in Europe or America, it's in the Far East and the Middle East. So that's where we're all focused at the moment. For Rolls-Royce, China is our second biggest national customer, so that's a very important market for us and a very important partner in programs going forward. So we definitely need to continue to look worldwide and perform as a global company. I'm not sure how Brexit will affect single skies, and as you say, Gibraltar is a major player in that. The people of Gibraltar made it very clear they want to stay part of Europe, so they have to work out their own determination going forwards. They're part of the United Kingdom, but they also feel very European, and they made that clear in their own vote in the referendum.